Hello, my dear students. Welcome back in science classes. I am Jakpreet Kaur, your science teacher of Arden Progressive School. Dear students, in this video, we will cover some important definitions. So, let's begin. So, your first definition is organisms. A living thing that has all five traits of life. It responds, moves, reproduces, grows, and develops. So, in the image, you can see. Now, next is saline. It is a water that contains salt in dissolved form, which is known as NaCl, that is sodium chloride. It is also known as salty water. As in the image, you can see that the peoples are collecting salt from an ocean. Okay. Now next is habitat. The place where organisms live is called habitat. Now there are of different types of habitat, that is terrestrial habitat and aquatic habitat. Terrestrial habitats are of different type, that is desert, mountain and grassland. The same way aquatic habitat are of different type, that is oceans and the ponds. Okay, so on the basis of the animals at where they live, so the habitat also varies. Now what is prey? Prey is an animal hunted for food. What are the predators? These are the animals that kills and eat other animals. So here the worm is a prey and the bird is a predator. Okay. Now the next is, what is blowholes? A blowhole, a nostril of whale or dolphin on the top of its head. So in the image you can see a blowhole at the top of the whale. Okay. So next is respiration. A chemical process in which glucose is break down into energy is known as a respiration. Next is biotic components. All living organisms are known as biotic components. What are the non-biotic components? Non-living things are considered as non-biotic components. Okay, then like the rock, soil, water are non-biotic components. Next is, what are the sprouts? When the seed turn into a sprout, it is said to have been germinated. Okay. Now in the image you can see a moong dal, a white color structure is sprouted. What is the stimuli? It is the changes in our surrounding that makes us respond to them. So in the image you can see that the flower is responding to the light. At where the light goes around, according to that the flower is also responding. So it is a stimuli. Next is excretion. What is the excretion? It is the process of getting rid of waste. Okay, so the removal of the waste from the body is known as then excretion. So the image is a part of it. Now the next is reproduction. When animals reproduce their own kind is known as the reproduction. So here in the image you can see the adult animals along with their young ones. Okay, so this adult animal reproduce their young ones. Now the next one is adaptation. The presence of specific features or certain habits which enable a plant or an animal to live in its surroundings is called the adaptation. Okay, so at where the animals live, according to it, the animal adapt the surrounding conditions. Now the next is, what is motion? It is the action or process of moving. So here in the image you can see the car is moving. Okay. Now the moving object is known as in motion. What are the circular motion? When a body is moving in a circular path, then it is said to be in circular motion. So here in the image, the fan is moving in a circular motion. Okay, so the fan is an example of circular motion. Now the next is rectilinear motion. When an object moves in a straight path, it is known as rectilinear motion. Now here the car is moving in a straight path. So it is an example of rectilinear motion. Now the next is periodic motion. The motion repeats in equal interval of time is known as the periodic motion. So the clock is an example of periodic motion. Next is distance. It is the length of the space between 2 points. So here are the two men and they are standing apart. So there is a distance between them. So there is a length. Okay, so it is known as a distance between the two men. Next is luminous objects. The object which emit light and heat of their own are called luminous objects. Example is sun. What are the non-luminous objects? The objects which do not emit light and heat of their own are called non-luminous objects. Example, boy, pen, table. Okay, so these are the few examples of non-luminous objects. Now the next, what is shadow? A dark area or shape produced by body coming between ray of light and a surface is known as the shadow. So here you can see the shadow of a girl. Now what is a mirror? It is a surface of glass coated with metal amalgam which reflects a clear image of any object. Now, what is reflection? When a light bounces back a surface is called reflection. As in the image you can see the light coming from the torch is bouncing back. Now what is pinhole camera? A pinhole camera is a simple camera consists of a light-proof box, a thin film and a small aperture. Now, the image formation that takes place from the pinhole camera is this ray diagram shows how the rays from the tree enter the pinhole camera and produce an inverted image on the screen. Now, what is camera obscura effect? When a light enters through a small hole and forms inverted image, then it is known as an camera obscura effect. Now what is power station? Electricity that we use at homes, in factories, etc. is supplied from a power station. Okay, now what is a electric cell? Electric cell is a source of electricity. Okay, in the image you can see that there are the two terminals, positive and a negative. Now what are the terminals? In the electric cell there are two terminals, that is the positive and the negative. So what is now battery? A battery is when the two or more than two cells are connected together, then it is known as a battery. Now what is a fused bulb? The bulb with broken filament is called a fused bulb. In this image you can see the filament is broken. Now what is a circuit? The complete path from one terminal to another terminal of electric cell is known as a circuit. So now you can see the image of a circuit that the current is flowing from one terminal to the another terminal. Now, what is open circuit? If there is any gap in the path of a circuit, the bulb does not light up. Such a circuit is called open circuit, as you can see in the image that it is broken from one end. Now, what is a closed circuit? If there is no gap in the circuit and the bulb light up, such a circuit is called a closed circuit, as you can see in the image that the circuit is closed from the both ends. Now, what is electric switch? Electric switch is a simple device that either breaks the circuit or complete it to stop or starts the flow of current. So students, now today we have completed so many definitions. You have to write all these definitions in your copy and you also have to learn it. So in the next video we will do revision of the another chapters. Till then, take care, stay safe and stay healthy.